So I'm back here in my brother-in-law's garage with Thomas the Jetta, Thomas the race car, and the race results are in. We made it 19 minutes during the race into a 12-hour race before the car wildly failed unexpectedly. So the throttle body crapped out. We then spent hours trying to effect a field fix desperately, knowing we probably wouldn't get anywhere, while simultaneously calling every auto parts store within a day's drive to see if they had a replacement part. No one did, but that's okay. We'll just race again. Either next race is in April in Joliet. We could do that. But no, we'll just keep going. And that's, a little engine that could type deal. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's drive is grit and perseverance in business. On today's Sunday drive, I want to talk more about mindset and successful mindset. What can you do to make yourself successful, right? So and mostly on the show, we talk about tactics and strategies you could take. Well, how you view the world is a strategy. And by being mindful and making small intentional choices around our success, those are tactics. So it is certainly what early on it's overlooked, but once you get to a point where your business is running on its own, maybe that takes 2 years, maybe it takes 2 months, where it's chugging along, then you've got more leisure time to think about, all right, to do some navel gazing and think like, man, what can I do differently about the way I'm viewing the world and making decisions, okay? And I started my business in 2009, so now in 2017, I'm really being very conscious about this, and I think it's important. So, for my podcast, we're on episode 150. I've interviewed dozens of successful entrepreneurs at this point, and there are definitely some things that the really successful people are doing differently in how they think, how they see the world. And it's very interesting to, talk to someone 40 minutes in depth about their business. You start to learn a lot, especially if you're looking for it, about like their personal development, what they do, and how they see the world. So number one, and I thought this through, took some notes, in no order here, but one of the things you need to do is focus on being better. Not focus on being good, just focus on being better, right? Everyone's definition of good is different, so ignore that. All you need to do is pick one thing, and don't just be super broad. Pick a single thing about your business, your life, your personal development, and say, all right, in the next 30 days, I want to make that thing 5 to 10% better. That's it. That's all you got to do. And that way, that brings us to another point, is have realistic goals. All right, so those are the two things. Have these realistic plan, realistic goals. Just pick one thing. Never think about being good, because all you'll do then is you'll have a definition of good, and then you'll depress yourself if you can't hit that definition. So you just need to assess where you are and focus on being better at that. Not terribly tough. Probably the most important, number two, I think, is having grit. And I may have mentioned this before, but grit is really, it's a definition of resilience. So the most successful people that I've talked to are not the smartest people I've talked to. Smart people do well, but the most successful people in no way have natural talent, which I think is very interesting. And people often say that to me, especially about, say, the podcast or maybe public speaking. They'll go, oh, Kurt, you are a natural. No, I'm not. Public speaking used to terrify me. Being on a podcast used to terrify me. I'd have to get drunk to do it. I'm not a natural. I just persevered. I had grit where I just kept doing it. I kept at it until I got it right. And that is true of many successful business people. I've talked to a lot that they may be just high school graduates, and they persevere, they kept at it, and they get really good at it. So having that grit, that perseverance is important. And the other thing that's going to let you do is not totally fall apart when you have problems. So I said, this race car, we spent $5,000 building our race car and getting it to its first race. Do you know what happened? We raced 6 laps, 30 minutes out of a 12-hour race. A more than 12-hour race. And we only managed 30 minutes. Did we fight? No. Did we point fingers and blame each other? No. We just we tried. We couldn't get it fixed after several hours. And rather than tear our hair out, we said, let's go get dinner. we'll take this thing home, and then we'll formulate a plan. Next day, we had the plan, which is, let's get the car fixed and running, and then decide, when we want to, what changes we want to make, and in what order, because our next race is in April. Boom, we're just going to get back on that horse and do it again and not get upset about it. That's what I mean by grit. Is really, is being able to persist, having perseverance, and then being able to persist specifically against and in difficult situations. So, and then when you couple that, I don't know if it's because of or in conjunction with, but just being a realistic optimist. The only thing you need to believe in with your optimism, because optimism can have you set crazy goals, like, I'm going to be a millionaire in 6 months. Don't do that. That'll make yourself crazy. Just believe in your ability to succeed. That's it. It's the only thing you need to be optimistic about, is believing in yourself and specifically your ability to succeed, right? Because high performers aren't naturals. They're just persistent. Remember that. I guarantee there are tons of millionaires who are also dropouts, high school dropouts. And maybe they learned something from that. They became, they learned to persevere, keep at it in their businesses, and became successful because of it. That's it. So start questioning the way you're thinking about the world, the way you're making decisions, the way you're seeing things, and it will get easier. It will be, when you're mindful about it, it will get much easier. I wish I had a book I could recommend on this topic. One I like a lot is Unfuck Yourself. If you want to start getting into mindfulness in a really practical, fun way, is this book. I apologize for the profanity, but the title of the book is Unfuck Yourself. It makes it very memorable. I like it a lot. And if you have any book recommendations for me on personal development, let me know in the comments. I am a voracious reader. I think that's an important business and life skill. Probably read or listen to about 3 books a month on average. I like it a lot, so let me know. And of course, even though you may not have gotten ready for Black Friday, there is still time to get ready. My calendar's starting to book up with projects of people getting ready, but I've still got a couple slots depending on what you need. So get in touch with me, ethercycle.com/apply. We'll let you apply to be a client. And then I also have, for a mere $29, let me save you hours of research. I put together an email guide on, hey, here are all the dates, here's the approach to take, here's how to do subject lines. Just a bunch of stuff that will save you a ton of time with preparing for Black Friday. Essentially, it's like the entire strategy minus here's the email templates, though I explain a very practical, good and reasonable approach for that too. Anyway, it's $29, and I will include that in the description or comments as well. So if you need help with anything leading up to Black Friday, shoot me an email, leave a comment, apply to be a client. I will try to help. And if not, I believe in you. I believe in your ability to succeed, and you just need to believe in yourself. So, hope this helped, and I will talk to you next week.